For years now, I had been thinking that I'm going to pen down the thoughts or the values that have made me what I am. And this year, God has been very, very kind with me that when I had the opportunity to actually give a lecture to the CEOs of the companies, I made a small booklet for these companies and which named Looking Beyond. That means looking beyond the immediate. And fortunately for me, it was very well received and done very well, and which shortly would be reaching you clients also through the Kindle. Now, looking beyond, when people asked me that what is it that made you, I would say that there weren't any rigid structural rules that made me what I am. My simple fundament in life was purity of intent, which was inculcated by my mom when I was very young. She actually told me that whatever you do in life, Dolly, the thing should be done in such a way that you are proud of the work that you do, and retrospect, your work should reflect and be proud of the person that it has been done from. So my works in life has what has made me what I am today, and whatever I did in my life, I did it through my heart, through the purity of my intent. Now, when I have been advocating these three simple words, that everything that you do in life should be done with purity of intent, my clients have often come back to me and said, but we also do everything with purity of intent. Now here, I would just say a few words where I say that perceptions bring in clarity, but perceptions laced with imaginations bring in confusion. So whatever you are perceiving that you are doing with your purity of intent, you just need to stop and introspect and see whether it is really a purity of intent. Haven't you at times manipulated? There are instances in life where I have seen that people who owe me money have conveniently forgotten about it for, let's say, 1 year, 2 years. And from my side, I have not reminded them. Then suddenly one day they feel that, oh my God, the things are going wrong with us, and now we need to go and ask Dolly that how do we rectify these things. And they are also reminded of the money that they owe me. And just 2-3 days before taking the appointment, they will clear my backlog, they will clear the money to me, and then they will ask me that, how do you think that we can actually rectify these things? Now this is without paying me for the fees that they are scheduled to pay. They have given me the backlog, they have cleared the money. Now riding on that same horse, they feel they have done the obligation because they are so pure of their intent that they have not broken their promise, they have returned the money. Now in that same riding, I should also them the questions for the future. Why am I giving this personal example is not to hurt anybody or not to tell, because this is for the better of giving an example and of somebody else. I'm just talking about this. Now in my mind, I question, is this purity of intent? It's not a purity of intent. It's basically you have done things, or you have created or you have cleared the backlog because somewhere you feel guilty and you feel a little fearful and anxious, thinking that the things are again turning wrong for me is because I have not cleared the backlog. Now that I am clearing the backlog, I might as well ask a few more questions for the future without paying the present fees. This is not purity of intent, this is manipulations. Similarly, I have seen where people have actually done certain things just for the audience play. They have done things because they want to be good at the face of the audience, where people can say, oh, what a wonderful person, or what a wonderful man, or what a wonderful woman. But at the same time, the intentions behind that is projecting yourself. The intention behind is not the work. So purity of intent in very, very simple words means when you speak from your heart, when you do from your heart, when your actions, your heart and mind is in sync, and your actions speak your words, and those actions need not be advertised or endorsed by anyone. when you start walking your talk, is purity of intent. When you start realizing that this is my passion, this is what I want to do. So the 3 questions that I normally tell my clients, please ask yourself, what is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to do it? And why do you want to do it? So the 2 questions, the former 2 questions, that is the what and the how, is very easily answered. But why? That is where you get stuck. So when you actually ask yourself, why am I doing it? Why do I need to do it? And if you can answer that and then work your way. Let's say, for example, your answer to the why am I doing it is because I want to be noticed. And then you're doing the thing, that is purity of intent. When you can question yourself and say, why do I want to do it? Because I want to be rich. That's purity of intent. And then you're working because you've answered yourself that this is your agenda. This is why you want to do it. But when you cannot answer yourself, why do you want to do it, or why do you want to take this step, or why do you want to, trust me, your confidence levels will be low, your self-belief will be low, your conviction in what you're doing is going to be low. So that is where you lose out the purity of intent. So whatever you do in life, even if you're going and robbing a bank, if you can answer yourself why you are doing it, what you're doing it, how you're doing it is what you've planned. But why are you doing it? You're doing it because you want to be rich, you're doing it because you want to make money, you're doing it because you are completely frustrated. But your purity of intent is there. That your purity of intent is that after you have looted the bank, what is it that you're going to do of the money? This is what you need to answer. So purity of intent does not mean that it is only attributed to these moralistic values or ritualistic values, or that this is what a person should do or what is the correct form. Purity of intent basically means the intentions behind your actions. Are the intentions behind your actions pure? If the intentions behind your actions are pure, then by all means you will be a success. But if the intentions behind your actions you think are pure after having manipulated or maneuvered your way in the past, does not justify that. So the intentions should be pure. Your purity of intent has to be done, has to be retained from the beginning to the end. Or you should be confident enough to come and say, hey, I was actually waiting for the correct moment, or these are my reasons for not coming and doing things. But ever since I realized, that is the time I felt. And the beauty of this, I also realized, was when a particular client actually truthfully came and said, I had no intentions of paying you back the money, but I soon realized that I was actually doing wrong because my work started going wrong, and I realized that if you had retained your purity of intent and trusted in me, I should also be repaying back and trusting you in whatever you do, and I'll feel much at peace. So see, purity of intent, I would tell all my clients, is just question yourself. Are the intentions of whatever I am doing justified to your own conscience?